Okay, in this video, we're going to work on the notes for 1.4 in your notes packet. So let me just get to my page. It looks like it's page 20 in yours, and you have, remember, you have the electronic copy of these notes downloaded in Notability, so you're going to take notes right there. Okay, so we have some vocab at the beginning, like we do in most sections. So in terms of vocab, we want to know that an angle consists of two different rays. So this is going to be the word rays, R-A-Y-S, with the same endpoint. Okay, so this is how we build an angle. So that means that my angle has an endpoint here, ray 1, and ray 2 here, and the angle itself is right in there. Okay, so this is a ray, this is a ray. This little endpoint where they meet has a special name. It's called a vertex. Okay, now we're going to classify our angles. An acute angle is an angle that measures greater than 0 and less than 90. Okay, so an example of an acute angle would be this one, looks like that, and let's say that's about 47 degrees. A right angle has to measure exactly 90. And you can put a little box in the corner here. That little box means that it's 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is an angle that measures less than 180 but greater than 90. Okay, so less than 180 and greater than 90. So let's try something like this. Okay, and this angle right in here, say that's about 120 degrees. So that would be obtuse. A straight angle is an angle that measures exactly 180. So you're going to go like this. You're going to put a little dot in the middle, and there you have it. A lot of this should be very familiar to you from the video that you watched after the quiz the other day. Okay, so when you talk about the sides of an angle, those are the rays. So there's two sides. The vertex is where the endpoints meet. So it's the endpoints of the rays. If angles are congruent, the angles will have the same measure. So if you had this angle, that's 90 degrees, and this angle, that's 90 degrees, you would say that they were congruent. An angle bisector is a ray that divides an angle into two angles that are congruent. Okay, so what does that mean? So that means, so let's do it over here. If we have an angle, so say that's our angle, and then I'm going to change my color, and let's make this is a line that's acting as an angle bisector. So it's going to divide that angle into two equal angles. So what you would do, you'd have the same little shape. See, that would be the shape of that one. That would be the shape of that one. They're both the same. They would be equal. So for example, if the entire angle was 80 and the bisector came through, that would make this bottom angle 40 and this top angle 40. So that's how a bisector works. Okay, so the angle bisector, and they say it's a ray. It can really be any shape, but let's just be consistent with what they're saying in the definition. Let's just make it a ray, and I will do that as a ray right here. Okay, so there it comes, and it's divided in half. Okay, now it says protractor postulate. We did this in class 2, where you measure the angle. So it says consider line OB. So line OB is where? OB is right here, and it's going to go all the way across, basically, right? But we're talking about the OB part of it, and a point A on one side of line OB. Okay, so here's the A, the rays of the form. Okay, so here's a ray, OA is a ray right here. That ray can be matched 1-to-1 with the 140 degree from 0 to 180. So what they're saying is, let's say I wanted to identify this angle right here. Since I'm going to start here, so this is my start, and I'm going to open up this way, I'm going to start where the 0 is. 0 is right here. I'm going to read the inside. Here's where the 140 shows up. So I now know that this angle is 140 degrees. I'm reading the inside since I'm opening on the right. Okay, so this is the right side, and that's where I'm opening. So I'm going to read the inside. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so what you can do to figure out the measure of the angle, take the first value, which was 0, and subtract away 140. And you're going to do it under the absolute value symbol. So therefore, that angle is going to be the absolute value of negative 140. Now you can drop the absolute value since you have completed your math, and that's going to be 140 degrees. Okay, so we just pretty much took the 0 here, took the 140 here, and we just subtracted those two values in an absolute value. Okay, so let's keep going. An angle, and you're going to hit the stop button whenever you need to. You're going to write down your own notes and make sure that you understand what I'm saying. If not, go back and listen again. Angle addition postulate. If P, so here's P right here, is in the interior of angle RST, then the measure of angle RST is equal to the sum of the measures of angle RSP, so that's the top angle, and angle PST, that's the bottom angle. Okay, so let's just say that, oh, because I see they're marked equal, I'm going to say that they are both 30 degrees. So therefore, the measure of angle RST is going to be 30 from the top plus 30 from the bottom, and that's going to be 60 degrees. Okay? All right, now we're going to go on to examples. Sometimes you can understand things better with an example. Example number 1, it says name the angles. So name the 3 angles in the diagram. Make sure you see 3. So I'm going to name the top one, which is going to be WXY. You always want to have your vertex, the middle angle, in the middle. Okay, another angle is the bottom angle, and that's angle YXZ. Then you have the big angle, which is angle WXZ. Okay, do you see that? So we have one angle here. Here's my top angle. Here's my bottom angle. My full angle. Okay? Now you can ignore this. I'm not sure what that is. We're just going to leave that be. Okay, example 2. Measure and classify angles. So we're going to do 2 things. Measure and then classify. Use the diagram to find the measure of the indicated, there should be indicated, angle. Then classify the angle. Okay, so KHJ. I'm going to use my little light. KHJ. It's this angle. This angle is opening to the right. So therefore, I'm going to use the inside. And I'm going to go up to here. And that's 55 degrees minus 0 where I started. So that angle is 55 degrees. Okay, so this is 55 degrees. If it's 55 degrees, it is acute. Okay, turn on my little light again. Angle GHK. So here's G, H, K. Okay, this is opening to the left. Here's where your 0 is out here. GHK goes from 125 to 0. So 125 minus 0 is going to give me 125. So this is 125. 125 is an obtuse angle. Okay, so we have another one. GHJ. So G, H, J. Oh, look at that. It's going straight across. So if I started here, that's 0, and here's 180. So it's going to be 0, absolute value of 0 minus 180 is going to give me 180, which is a straight angle. And we should have had another one down here. This is angle GHL. So let's see where that is. GHL, oh, look at that. So it's opening to the left. Read the outside. Here's your 0. Here's your 90. Absolute value of 0 minus 90 is 90. And that is a right angle. Okay? And that's where that was down here. So I just put it here instead. Okay, good. Okay, example 3. Oh gosh, look at example 3. Given that the measure, so this M stands for measure, given that the measure of LKN is 145. Now look what LKN is. LKN is LKN. It's the big angle. So I know that this big old angle here is 145. They want me to find the measure of the other two angles. Okay, we've got some work to do. So what I'm thinking, since they both have x's in them, why don't I add the two smaller angles? So I would say 2x plus 10 plus 4x minus 3. So the top angle and the side angle, they have to sum to 145. Okay, on the left side, add your like terms. This is like, this is like. That becomes 6x. Now add your numbers. 10 and a negative 3. That becomes a positive 7. And this has to equal 145. Okay, you have a two-step problem. Move this number, subtract the 7, subtract the 7, and let me just erase this to get it out of the way for right now. When I do that subtraction, what do I get? So I'm going to borrow from the 4, that makes that a 3. 15 minus 7 is 8. 138 has to equal 6x. Divide by 6, divide by 6. 138 divided by 6. 6 goes into 13 2 times, that's 12, carry the 1. 6 goes into 18 3 times. So now what I know is that x has to equal 23. But that's not my answer because they want me to find the measure of the angles. So LKM is the top angle. So that was 2x plus 10. take your 23, plug it in, and you're going to get 2 times 23 is 46 plus 10 is 56 degrees. So this angle right here is 56 degrees. Okay, let's do the next one. MKN was 4x minus 3. So 4 times 23 minus 3. 4 times 3 is 12, and the 2 carry the 1. 4 times 2 is 8, and 1 is 9. 92 minus 3 gives me 89. So then this angle had to be 89. And now let's just make sure that they sum up to 145. And they do, so I know I have them correct. Okay, so this angle right here is 56 degrees. And this angle right here was 89 degrees. They are both acute angles. But when you add them together, you get the obtuse angle of 145. Okay, here's another example for us. It says example 4, identify congruent angles. So let's look at this notation. It's right here. So what you want to know is that where you have, I'm going to make this red, this is one little curve and this is one little curve. That means that they are equal. So angle DEF is going to equal angle JKL. Okay, I'm going to change my color. And you see you have 2 little, almost like arcs or rainbows. That has 2. This has 2. That means that they're both equal. So that's angle DEG is going to equal angle LKG. Okay, so those are the angles that are equal. So let's see what they say. They tell us that if the measure of angle DEG is 157, so if this guy is 157, what's the measure of angle GKL? Well, can't you write this angle as this? Just change the order as long as K is in the middle. They're the same. Therefore, these angles have to be the same because we just said that they were equal because of their markings. Okay, so that's how you look at congruent angles, by their markings. Okay, so then over here we have example number 5. In the diagram, ray YW, so that's this bottom ray right here. This is ray YW right there. Okay, it bisects. If it bisects something, it cuts it in half, in 2 equal pieces. So it bisects angle XYZ, which is the big angle. So look what they did for us. They put these marks to tell us that these 2 pieces are equal. And then it says, and the measure of angle XY, so XYW is 18. If this is 18, then I know this is 18. Okay, what do they ask me for? They want to know what XYZ is. This is the big angle. So we're going to take 18 for the top plus 18 for the bottom, and that's going to give me 36 degrees for that bigger angle. Okay, so that's what we wanted to do. So now what you're going to do next is you're going to do this homework. So your job is to finish this homework, and you're going to do the homework up to here. So I'm going to say stop here, and I want you to complete it and post it before the start of next class. Now, I'm going to have to send you home with a protractor because I want you to measure these angles. And I need you to take your protractor that I'm going to give you in class, take it home with you, and then bring it back with you. Okay, so I need them all back. But you're going to need a protractor for this assignment. Okay, so that's the end of the video. Make sure you copy down all the notes and then do the homework and post it using my protractor. And then you're going to, we'll talk about it and we'll see you again in class. Okay, thank you very much.